Good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we are live. So excited to have you guys on board. Obviously, I'm Peter Vexelman. I'm broadcasting here out of just about downtown Atlanta, Georgia. A little bit of a change of a scenery for us. For those of you that have been following us, I've been quarantined at our lake house here for a couple of months, and you know, we're back in business, meaning Atlanta is open, and so things are happening. So we thought we'd make our way from up north, the lake, to down south, this city. So glad to have you guys here on board. We'll get started here in just a couple minutes. Great guest tonight, guys. I'm telling you, for those of you that are here for the first time, you are in luck. And for those of you that have been listening to us for a long time, this is a good one. So sit back, relax. If Julie was here, I know what she'd say. She'd say, tell me where you're dialing in from. We got Cumming, Georgia represented. That's awesome. That's funny. That's not very far away from where we migrated from. As far as our lake house, we got North Carolina in the house, Baton Rouge. What's up, Brad and Marietta? How are you, buddy? More Georgia folks from Peachtree City. That's right below us. Miami, Florida. It's funny. We were in Miami the last day before quarantine hit. And last week we went back to Florida, not to Miami this time. We went to Destin. So love Florida. We got Delaware, we got Port Richey, Florida, New York. How are you, Haskell? Good to see you, buddy. Washington, D.C. That's so excited to have you. Kevin, I got your voicemail, buddy. Call Daniela. She called you and left you a voice message and sent you an email. She'll help you out with your request. The Loniga in a house. Awesome. Also not too far away from where we just migrated from. So glad you guys are here. You know, exciting times, but exciting times to be together too. You know, I was just making a reference about this a little while ago that, you know, during this crazy times we're in of quarantine, stay at home, like don't touch, don't look, don't sneeze. You know, there's more don'ts in many of our lives that we've seen in years and years. It's good to be part of a community. I think this is the time that communities get tighter, and this is like really where the leadership of the communities really, or the people that are part of the communities really rise to the top. So we are glad. We're so glad that we're part of a community here, a partner-driven community. We're so glad that we got we call them family all over the United States. While we were under quarantine, while we were locked down, it was cool to be able to talk to our partners every day, kind of the virtual high fives, the attaboy, attagirl. You know, it's weird. We're doing things that like social distance, like that wasn't even a word, right? Like how many times have you done virtual high fives to people? Like it seems like in the last month or two, I've done more virtual high fives than I think I've ever done beforehand. So we were conditioned to do some new things, but we're rolling out of that. So that is very exciting times. So we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. So glad you guys are here. Somebody else from Miami, Florida. That's awesome. Miami, like I said, we were there literally before everything just kind of went into shutdown mode. Charlotte, North Carolina. My parents used to live there in Matthews, and then they moved to that big street. I'm drawing a blank where that is. Like here in Atlanta, it's Peachtree, and I know Charlotte, Providence. I think that's your big one. So very familiar. Ontario. So good to see you, Neil. Ottawa, Ontario. It's way up north. Excited to be here. And it's cool. You know, when we started this partnering program, who thought that the reach of our partners and people that are interested in what we're doing would literally, you know, we started small, we expanded, we grew, and now we, you know, if not span the globe, we definitely span the United States of America. So we'll get started here in about a minute or so. Glad you guys are here. Got some really, really good stuff for you guys tonight. You know, we're in the middle of our partner, I don't even know, I think there's a name to this series we're doing, kind of partner driven series. This is where we showcase some of our partners, and we love to do that because it's like, you know, it's a totally different perspective. You know, it's one thing for myself or Julie or, you know, whatever to like sit here and talk about the things we're doing, but we also know, like, you know, we have years on some of you guys. I mean, I have 22 years on some of you guys. So, you know, some people look at me and they're like, well, 22 years. Yeah. I mean, if I do something for 22 years, I'd probably figure it out too. So we decided to have this series where we, on a weekly basis, bring our partners on board and start celebrating them, start discussing about what they're doing, start talking about some of their successes, also some of their non-successes. That's okay, because that's how real estate and that's how life works. And just kind of bring it down to a level where everybody can assimilate with and relate to, because that's really, you know, I think that's what the partner is all about. It's about assimilation. It's about relating. You know, it's about kind of like, oh, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And so really, really, really cool. So, all right, guys. Well, it's about that time. We've given everybody a couple minutes. It's hot here in Atlanta. And for some reason, like, I got the AC on behind me, but I got my windows open in front of me. So that tells you, and you know, and I've been in real estate for, you know, 20 some years, like I said, done thousands of deals that still don't quite connect the dots, that when you have the AC behind you and hot window in front of you, that's not, you know, very smart. All right, guys. Well, again, so glad you guys are here. Welcome aboard. It's just me here tonight with a very, very special partner that I'm going to bring on board here in a couple minutes. But at first, you know, kind of, I like to get everybody on the same page. Like, why are we here? Who's actually here? What's the point of being here? And what's the objective of being here? You know, because I think if you just kind of aimlessly go through things in life, or even webinars and seminars and some things you're doing, you know, if you kind of start out in an aimless way, you come out of it in an aimless way. So, you know, let's lay out what the groundwork is here tonight. First of all, who's here tonight? What I mean by that is this is something that Tuesday night webinars is something that we have been collectively very committed to for a long time. As a matter of fact, I could probably tell you, out of all the things that we've done here at the partner-driven model, as a partner-driven model, this is the one piece that we have been very loyal to, very committed to. And although some aspects of our model have changed, some focuses have changed, you know, some other things changed a little bit, this is the one piece that has not. We have not wavered for one iota. And like, from my perspective, the reason that is, it's very simple. I had the feedback I've gotten from people that we start doing deals with, partnering with, and things like that, is the one thing so many of them in common is they bring back these Tuesday night webinars. So like, oh my God, I've been listening to you for like X amount of time. I've been following you through these Tuesday night webinars. I've been listening to, I've been on them live. I've watched the recordings. So we know along the way, these are very impactful. And then the other thing we start realizing is that people that become our partners, that we start doing deals with, a lot of them like keep, you know, it's like you come in this way and you stay this way, right? You don't change. And so some of you guys that are here tonight, you guys are already our partners, and we're so glad you guys are here. If you're a partner of ours, you have some really cool benefits, some really cool privileges. For instance, one of them is you have technology from us. You know, we feel very confidently that we have developed the most unbelievable technology available in the real estate industry today. And so when you're a partner of ours, you get it right away. And our deal-driven app literally gives you the ability as a partner to function as a real estate investor right from the palm of your home, right in the cell phone. Okay. So if you're a partner, you get all of our technology. That's all included in being a partner. If you're a partner, You get coached and mentored by us. I mean, we feel we have bought into the model that you better know what you're doing in real estate. This is not a business that you want to just kind of shoot off the hip, hope for the best, let's try this, let's try that. This business is littered with people that try to do it themselves. Okay. And really that's what it comes down to. What knocks people out of this business is not necessarily that they lose money, that they screw up their credit, that their deals go sour. I mean, those are all the consequences, but really what knocks people out of real estate is very simple. They learn as they go. I mean, they kind of experiment to a certain degree doing deals and all that. Can't do that in real estate. So if you're a partner of ours, you have the ability to be coached and mentored by us literally on a daily basis, in a group environment, in a recorded environment, in a live environment, in a one-on-one environment. We wholeheartedly believe that you better know what you're doing in this business. If you're a partner of ours, when we find deals, if you need access to capital, we provide the capital for you. It's as simple as that. So when any kind of money is needed, whether it's earnest money, purchase money, carrying cost money, rehab money, maintenance money, any kind of money, that's on us, okay? As a partner, you also get access to our construction. If a deal needs some kind of constructions or repairs, either literally like we jump in there and handle it with some of our partners, or some of our partners just need help being like overseeing it and all that. So if you're a partner of ours, you have access to that. And then we just put the properties in the market, split it down the middle once we sell it, 50-50, boom. That's our partner-driven model. And if you're a partner, you have access to all of that. And some of you guys are taking advantage of that to different levels. Some of you guys are like, the good thing is it's like a buffet. Some of you guys are just like utilizing our coaching. Some of you guys are utilizing, our strategizing with our rehabbers. Some of you guys are utilizing our funding. Some of you guys are utilizing all of it, and that's awesome. So if you're a partner and you're here tonight, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're glad you're here. And my message to you is simple. It's the same. Anytime I talk to our partners, I tell them the exact same thing. It's time to reset, recharge, recommit, and let's go and take it to the next level. And if you're anything like I was 22 years ago, when I was on the way to like literally just crashing and burning in this business, and finally I started connecting with some mentors and people that started helping me. Anytime they were anywhere, like I'd find out they were speaking somewhere, or they had an event somewhere, or they had a breakfast somewhere, or they're willing to grab a coffee with me, I was there. I didn't care what the heck the topic was. I was hanging on everything. And so I could relate to that. And we're so glad you guys are here. Some of you guys are not yet our partners, but you're checking us out. I mean, you've heard about this partner-driven model. It's very unusual. And so I don't blame you for checking us out, because I think, as far as I know, and I'm pretty networked, I think we're the only real estate investment company at the national level that offers this to individuals across the United States. And so some of you guys, I mean, literally just an hour or so ago, somebody got a hold of me and they're like, hey, I was talking to so-and-so and they told me that you're partnering with people. It sounds like almost, I don't get it, what it means, but it sounded, the way he explained it sounded like too good to be true. And I'm just like, hey, pop up on a webinar. So some of you guys, we know, utilize these webinars is simply this. You want to get comfortable with us. And I get it. We all get it here. And so that's what the other second set of group of individuals here tonight who are not yet our partners, but you are looking to be our partners. And so our objective for you is very simple. Become a partner. Okay. I mean, honestly, just it's, if you're serious about real estate, people all the time ask, well, what is my guarantee in your partnering program? And a lot of times the people that ask me that questions usually are newer people. Like after being in this business for 22 years, the last thing I would ever ask somebody is, what is my guarantee on that deal? I mean, that is like right away will give me away that I'm kind of new. Nothing wrong with that, but that is not, that is not something that a lot of veterans will ask, because veterans understand there are no guarantees in anything, like anything business related. Really no guarantees in anything like jobs or anything, but especially in business. But the one thing I always feel comfortable telling people is this: if you're not a partner and the question is, well, what's the guarantee? The guarantee is this: you have a lot bigger chance with us than without us. Okay, there you go. That's your guarantee. So for those of you that are ready to partner and get all the benefits that I just mentioned that all partners get, either here tonight or sometimes after the webinar, or if you're listening to us in a recorded environment, simply go to www.partnerdriven.com. That's www.partnerdriven.com. And there you can learn more about us. Put your information in there. A team member will touch base with you, and then off we go. Let's go to work, as I say, and let's go get some deals done. All right, guys. Well, I am excited about here tonight. I am excited to bring one of our partners on board. And, you know, when it comes to bringing partners on board, I don't think we're very choosy. Like, you know, it's not like we're like we strategize what partner do we need to bring on board on like May 26th to have the biggest impact. The really cool thing about our partners is they come from all walks of life, from all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of shapes and sizes, all kinds of dreams and goals. And so as we started doing this partnering series of connecting our partners with you all, we just like, you know, let's pick some partners that are doing some cool stuff, you know, maybe have some deals, maybe don't have some deals. That's not the important thing but let's bring people that can give hope to others. Because really in the end, that's really to a certain degree what we do. You know, when people check us out, they're like, is there a chance? Is there hope here? Is there somebody like me that did this whole thing? So that's kind of our kind of standard. We just bring really cool partners on. It's the best way I could describe it. I know when it comes to real estate, like that is not necessarily maybe the best qualifying, but we have some really cool partners. You know, we have some really, really, really good people. So Stephen, are you there? And here comes Stephen. I know he was playing around. There you go. Stephen Salasella. How are you, buddy?
How are you?
Good, good. Now, the last time you and I talked, am I allowed to say what you do for a living?
I'm a first responder. That's
there,
cool.
There you go. And you were like from work, and I remember you were dressed to a T, and you were like this. And then
we don't talk about that there. We don't talk about that.
All right, there you go. And then tonight when you pop on, you look like not a little, but you look like a baseball player.
Yeah, this is casual Tuesday. So
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Office.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thanks for being with us. You know, the way I think, you know, is, you know me, I never script anything. I think the best thing to do is just do it off the cuff, say it what feels comfortable. I just kind of want to take you through the journey that you experience working with us. And not only the journey you experience working with us, but just kind of what that journey looks like right now, potentially what the ultimate goal, your big picture is, and all that. So tell us, first of all, about your background. Like before real estate, before you came across us, what was Stephen doing in life?
Yeah, so Steve is lived in Virginia Beach area for about 16 years. I'm originally from upstate New York. Came down here, took a job with the city, and realized pretty quickly that the retirement VRS was not the greatest in the world, and needed to do something in case this career field did not work out for whatever reason. So I looked around and had some friends who did real estate part-time. So I actually got my license in 2012. And I was doing a word of mouth kind of referral business for some extra money rather than, working overtime with my regular job. So, and then in 2017, 2018, I decided to really make a business out of it, out of the real estate side. And my real estate business went through the roof. And as that was going on, I realized that this could really be my retirement. And that's really what I focused on in 2018 into 2019, killed it 2019, and wanted to refocus on investing. And I came across Partner Driven.
Let me take us back a step. Well, first of all, as a first responder,
Sure.
Thank you very much for your service, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now and all that. That goes without saying. When you I know what you did when you got started, but tell people what you did. You were a realtor, right? You were a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a realtor. I was just, repping buyers and sellers. And I always had this this drive to just do more with the business. And but I wanted the investment side, and in it, very difficult. There's a lot of money in the Virginia Beach area, a lot of investors, a lot of weekend warriors, but nobody really to latch onto to learn. And I was pretty good at the selling, the buying side, and repping the buyers as an agent, but the investment side was new to me. And I tried it on my own. I don't think I told you this part, but I tried it on my own back in 2008. Bought an investment property. Market took, actually it was in 7. Market took a crash, 2008, 2009, lost my shirt pretty much, and kind of stepped away from it. So this was my entry back into trying the investment side and learning the investment side, most importantly, with the safety net, so to speak, of partner driven.
Now, you've actually used that word a couple of times. You were killing it. You were doing well. So why did you feel the need to still transition towards the investor side? And the reason I ask that, the real is a lot of our partners have licenses, interestingly enough. Like almost 65 to 70% of our partners across the nation, just one of those things, happen to have license. So what did you see on the investing side that even though you were killing on the agent side, maybe you weren't, didn't see there?
So I think it was more of what I didn't see on the investment side and saw on the agent side. So the market has been pretty good to us, especially in this area. But just like everything else, the real estate market goes up and it goes down. And I know that if we end up interest rates climb again, buyers stop buying, or inventory gets there's a lot of inventory out there, the market for the real estate agent may not be as great as it is right now. And when that happens, usually the investment side kicks up. So for me, it was, how do I balance, especially when I'm ready to either retire or leave this job with the city, I got to find a good balance of both sides of the coin, the sell and buy and the investment and rent side, for me to feel secure enough to be able to plan my future. So that's kind of why I was looking at the investment side as opposed to just the selling, even though I was doing really well. Trying to look at that a little bit.
I get it. All right, let me just take you one more time back to 07 when you did that first deal. I mean, I know the market crashed and all.
We have to talk about that one. Yeah, it was young, man.
Yeah. Tell me about some of the mistakes that you made back then. I mean, what caused, aside from the bad market that ultimately did bring a lot of us down, including me, by the way. What happened?
I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't in real estate at the time. I was 26 years old, kind of thought I knew it all. I found a lender investor guy who, looking back now, I skipped all the red flags because I just was excited to try to get a first investment property. I didn't do my due diligence because I wasn't exactly sure what that was at the time. And again, nobody really leaned on. So I kind of held my nose and jumped. and I was doing pretty good for a while. Renters were paying. Everything was good. And then the market crashed. And when the market crashed, the renters decided they didn't want to pay anymore. And that just caused a whole slew of problems for me in getting them out and saving the property. And, it was tough. But the mistake was no due diligence because I didn't know the right questions to ask, what to look for. I probably should have reached out to somebody, even if it was a property manager at the time. I think I probably would have done better, but I was young and naive and look at it as a good tuition for an education.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in this business, it literally, you don't know what you don't know, and I don't know how it is maybe in the first responder world, if you can go through enough scenarios, but you kind of sort of know a little bit. But in real estate, isn't that amazing? I mean, you can be blindsided with things that you didn't like. I remember I got blindsided so many 20,000 different ways when I got started. And this is what I was talking about before you came on, that this is one of those few businesses where you do not want to learn off the hip. I mean, you do not want to learn on your first 5-10 deals because mistakes in this business transfer to loss of money. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. Loss of revenue, loss of money, loss of credit, loss of anticipated, you're going this way, but you're going that way and all that. Okay, so you went through that. You got into it as an agent side. You started doing well. You wanted to come back. So kind of take us to the point where you started doing your research of how you wanted to come back. What were you looking at? What was your goal initially?
I don't know if I really had one, to be honest with you. Just kind of tooling around the internet. And of course, anytime you're on your phone and doing anything, all the algorithms kick on and this is no lie, your ad popped up. And I clicked on the ad and started looking at some videos, went to YouTube, did some research. And I thought it'd be good to talk to someone over there just to see what it was almost too good to be true kind of thing. And I can't remember who I talked to first, but set up a couple of phone appointments with your team. And honestly, I was like, well, I know enough about the real estate side right now. I can have intelligent conversations with your team. I feel comfortable doing that. And they're great, super knowledgeable, really responsive. And as an agent, because I'm a part-time agent, I don't have a lot of time for fluff. I'm very direct. I cut right to the point. And it was nice finding that response in your team.
So tell me this, because you had experience on obviously the realtor side, you've had successes there. You had some experience on the investor side. The one thing I was curious about, why did you take our pathway? Because our pathway, it's silly for me to sit here and say it's the only pathway in this industry. There's other pathways you could take. What specifically got you excited about the partner-driven model?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, the split is great. The chance to work with you and your team as representing you in one fashion and then working as a partner in another. It was, I think I talked to Julie on the second or third phone call. And she was very direct as well. And I like that. Like I said, I don't have time for fluff. So that kind of hooked me in. And then when she was telling me about the software, I don't have the time to drive around and look for, driver dollars. I think it's a great concept for people who have that time. I needed something that I could literally sit at home and do in between watching my 4-year-old and go to work and working my real estate deals as well. And once I got into that software, man, this is for me, a game changer.
All right, let's talk about that, because a lot of you're like me, like a lot. Even when I introduced you, I was using the word like our technology, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" So, talk a little bit about our deal-driven app, and like from your perspective, I like what you said. I have somebody, I'm taking care of a 4-year-old. I don't have time to drive around. So, how did you use our deal-driven app, our technology, or how do you use it?
Honestly, I sit on my patio with my laptop, and I have search criteria in for about 4 or 5 areas in and around the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. And then I start researching as those leads generate, as the lists generate, start researching and doing the skip trace. And then I make phone calls. I'm not shy about picking up the phone and calling people. So once I've kind of I used the partner-driven script, kind of read through that, and I'll say I didn't commit to it, but I knew it well enough. So it was me speaking through that script, so to speak, or that script speaking through me. And I just started picking up the phone and calling people. And different than any other lead source that I've had before. Not the most receptive leads, but I don't care. Like I said, I'm not shy. But that's how I think you make it in this business, is just not being shy and having the drive and the hustle and being able to talk to people. I spent a good part of my career teaching people how to build rapport because it's important in our line of work. And it's important on the agent side. I developed a sales class for my my brokerage on rapport building. And that really helps when I pick up the phone and talk to, pre-foreclosures.
Let me ask you a question, and this is just something that just like literally hit me as I'm listening to you talk. I don't think I've ever asked anybody this question. You obviously understand real estate. You did a deal before. You obviously a real estate agent and all this. I'm looking at myself 20 years ago when I got started. How much of a deal now, and also because you brought up that you're taking care of your 4-year-old, percentage-wise, how much of your deal can you possibly do right now sitting from your home? And let me preface that by saying, when I got started 22 years ago, I had to be able to do a deal. I'm trying to remember. I had to hit a courthouse. I had to have 3 different subscription services. I 100% had to drive to like whoever somebody told me, and not even to meet sellers. I mean, literally just to like look at stuff. So for me back then to do a deal, I could probably do 5 to 10% of it sitting from home, and 90% of it had to be done out there, just because the technology was not there, just because the pieces weren't together, costs, a million things. So just the way you worded that makes me think, how much right now from what you feeling of the deal can you do literally sitting from where you're sitting right now, percentage wise?
So if I was going to do it all myself, probably 75% sitting on my patio, from the list generation to making the phone calls, setting the appointments, sending out mailers, and then getting the appointment. Obviously, go there to get the appointment. I've got a form set up so I can email people a form ahead of time or talk to them on the phone. It's got a bunch of questions listed out that I will then use to either run comps or send in that information to Partner Driven as part of the package that I put together. So, for instance, how old the roof, how old is the HVAC, what are you looking to walk away with, that kind of information. Have it all listed out on a form so I can print out as a PDF and send it in. And then I have a good idea when I'm going there too. So all my background work, I do sit in right here in my little home office. And then, meet with the contractors. I try to get all that done in one day and try to be efficient at that. So really probably 25% of the time I'm out there. And then for me, I leverage with another agent. So I will bring another agent in to do a lot of that stuff. So then it boils down to
Smart. Yeah.
95% sitting right here in between, dinner time and bath time. So.
Smart. And I tell that to people all the time, Steve. I'm like always, we're in a business of leverage. And a lot of times people think leverage is just about money, but it's not. It's about technology. It's about, like you said, bring another agent in. So leverage is about people, technology. And that's one of the things we pride ourselves on right now, especially because kind of the pandemic and all this, is that if you understand how to utilize our tools, our technology, you could do pretty much everything you need to do right from the comforts of your home. So let's get into that first deal. How did you find it?
Facebook ad. So in my real estate world, I run a lot of Facebook social media ads. And one of the first things I did was post I think I spent $250 on ad spend through Facebook, and I got a phone call off the ad.
Tell everybody, because I was like, there really should be no secrets in this business. It's a business of abundance. Walk them through what your ad said.
I have to pull up. I didn't write it. I hired somebody to write the ad for me. But basically, I had his old house. Picture of an old house.
I don't even know what it said. It just worked.
Yeah, and honestly, I was like, hey, I need an ad. But they put an old house on there, stuff like cash offer, immediate offer, that kind of language, that had some urgency to it. And got a phone call from a gentleman and said, hey, look, I'm looking to sell my house and I don't want to deal with a realtor. I said, well, okay, surprise, I'm a realtor, but that's not the way this is going to work, necessarily. And I explained to him, because of Virginia law and what I have to disclose, having my license is a little different than normal. So I did my disclosures, and I met them as a representative for you guys, and as an agent, and had went over there, did some assessments, came back, worked some numbers. I had already set up the second meeting to bring an offer, and went over there. They were wanting about 100,000, and we got them down to 87.5. I got them down to 87.5.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a lot of information. One thing that Steve, one thing you don't even know yet, but you'll appreciate it, because I know I've been kind of kicking you in the butt over this as we've been working together and some other stuff. In our Deal Driven app, we're hopefully no more than a couple of weeks of releasing Facebook marketing in there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's going to be unbelievable. We've been working this is kind of the big announcement tonight. I wasn't even planning on saying it. Next week, we're going to do a special Deal Driven a webinar. But yes, we have just put together technology, put together the relationships. And so now we're going to put all the pieces together. So soon, right now, you could do direct mail, you could skip trace, you could look for equity properties, you could look for pre-foreclosures, pretty much everything you need. And now, very shortly here, next couple of weeks, you'll actually be able to run all your Facebook campaigns through there, and it's going to be absolutely, positively amazing.
That's fantastic.
So the seller said how much again? He wanted how much?
He started a little over 100. Then as the first meeting, I was walking out the door. I was like, how much do you want again? And he said 100. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go crunch some numbers and I'll see what I can do. And then we got down and negotiated a little bit, but they settled on 87.5.
That's awesome. Now, so we used some social media for marketing. We got the deal put together. We were able to negotiate. At what point did you get our team involved in this particular deal?
Right after that first meeting. So I went over, took photos, kind of did a eyeball assessment of what the repairs would be. Came back, ran some comps. So in Dropbox, I think I dropped the photos, the comps, ARV figures, and like a little summary. And then I, in an email to the support, and I said, hey, here's what I got. What do you want to do? Because it is different. It's
sure.
I still feel like I'm representing as opposed to out there, speaking for you. If that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, totally. All right, so you get the information over to us, and what did we come back with?
I actually spoke to Julie. I went in and I scheduled a call with her. Super easy. So scheduled a call with Julie. We talked about it, what the strategy would be based on, the timeline that they were looking at. And originally we talked about doing a flip. So we had that conversation. I've got a contractor here. I've got some connections here just because I've been in the business for a little while. But then after the contract went under, I think your team decided it'd be best to wholesale it. So that was what we ended up doing.
And let me just kind of, for some people are listening, they're like, what are you talking about? Fix a flip, wholesale. No, you're good. And so this is another thing that we, as your partner, kind of, are able to do. One of the things, I've been down this thing 22 years, thousands and thousands of deals. And I promise you, there's many times where I've gone down this direction of the deal where I realized I should have been going down this direction of the deal.
Sure.
And it's like, this direction made all the sense. I was like, oh, if I could do this, whatever this is, I'll do this, then I'll make a bunch of money. Then I went down this direction and I lost a bunch of money. And so that's one of the things that we're able to, just from experience many times, not dictate, we never say dictate, but, kind of massage the deal in the right direction. And that's a big piece. And I can tell you that one thing I don't want to do is get off on a tangent, but because we are in this pandemic mode still, there are certain strategies today that we have to fine tune, I have contacts at the highest levels with some of the banks. So I understand what's going on with the back end mortgages. I understand what's going with the government-backed mortgages. So I understand there's certain strategies now that we have to focus on a little bit more because some other strategies that made sense literally 2 months ago don't necessarily make sense any longer. So is your baby crying back there?
Yeah, man, she's 4. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm listening. I promise. I promise.
Listen, I've been there. I've been there 3 times, so I get it. We're gonna start doing this. Okay, so we got it negotiated from X to X. You put it into contract. Who pre-lists the property for us?
I listened. I was a listening agent.
I love it. This is another great thing that, again, you don't have a license. If you do not have to have a license. If you don't have a license, we have agents to a certain degree on standby, or even if we don't have them standby in your area, we have agents ready to go in a lot of areas. And if we don't have one in your areas, we'll teach you how to do it. But if you happen to be an agent, you have the ability to also pre-list our wholesale deals because of certain clauses we have in our contracts. So what was the final price that we got under contract for? 87.5?
87.5.
87.5. What did we list it for?
We started listing it at. We started listing it at
I love it.
120, and we ended up. It was on for about a week, but you guys wanted to offload it pretty quickly, and we sold it to another investor for 105.
Beautiful. So we got it under contract for 87, listed it for an aggressive price, just see what the market dictates, kind of did a couple of price drops, sold it for 105. And did we do anything to the property? I don't think we did.
No, I didn't even post a sign up. I just put it on the market. And so I didn't even get a chance to put the sign up.
We didn't even put a nail into it, did we?
No, we had the MLS. I networked with the agents in my office, and one of the agents in my office had an investor who was ready to buy. So like I said, I had a lockbox on there. I didn't even get a chance to put a sign up, and we were, under contract pretty quickly.
That is awesome. So we didn't even touch it, literally didn't touch it, didn't put a nail into it, didn't fix it, didn't stress over any kind of rehab, got it locked up for 87.5, sold it for 105 even. Whatever that is, we cut it down the middle and split the profits.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I mean, right there, that's our model. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just listening.
Oh, okay. And that right there, I mean, that is literally our partner-driven model. Now, I will tell you, and I think I've told you this before, Stephen, like the girls here at the office, they totally love you. They're like, he's a great guy. He's responsive. He's, up to, I mean, people always tell me, like, they always ask me these questions because I think they're trying to put me in some kind of a trap. Like, what does it take? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just saying, like, you just got to have your act together to a certain degree. You have to have your act together. You have to be a long-term player. You got to understand that sometimes you can do it a little bit quicker. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. You got to build up momentum. You and I always talk about 5 to 7, right? Because that's the number we got to get to. Once we get 5 to 7 under contract, then simply the numbers take over, and you start closing them. I love it. I know I probably pushed you a little bit too hard, but I love it that you went right back into what worked. Because that's the other thing in this business. Certain markets work a little bit different this way. Certain markets work a little bit this way. With you, obviously, the social media was able to, off of Facebook, you were able to pull some stuff. So I kind of kicked you in the butt. I'm like, hey, come on, let's get that going. Let's get a couple of agents coming in.
Yeah.
And tell us what you got going on now. Just kind of conceptually, what do you got going on? I'm going to let you go because I know you got a young one there that needs you. What do we got going on?
So actually, since that deal, I've done a lot of word of mouth stuff. Like, because people know, I'm in the business, so I get to talk about real estate a lot. And now it's always, hey, I'm representing an investor, and we are always looking to buy anything, anywhere at the right price. So that sparked a lot of conversations that I'm pretty sure at least one of them is going to turn into a deal here pretty soon. I went back to social media because if it works, I mean, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, and it works for me on the other side of the business as well, because I can convert pretty well. So I went back to social media. Actually hired a marketing company. Before, I wish I had known you were going to Facebook ads through Partner Driven, but I've got a 3-month contract with them. So their ad is it's been up for 3 days, and they're in the learning phase now. But I've already got some traction on the ad. So I expect that to do pretty well. In 3 months, we'll reassess, and if not doing so hot, then I'll definitely go through partner driven, or I might just invest more and go through in partner driven, because it's absolutely worth it. I can literally sit on my couch and the leads pop on my phone, and as long as you got the hustle and you can talk to people and you can be real with people, don't try to be a salesman, just try to be real.
Yep.
And especially people in a pre-foreclosure predicament, it's a tough thing to be in. And I can talk a little bit about that, my experience back in 2007, 8, 9. So I really have empathy, and I do understand, and I think that comes through in my conversations with them. So I'm actually talking to one lady from literally sitting on my patio making phone calls. She's trying to do a mod on her loan, but I'm not sure if it's going to go through or not. Been talking to her for 2 or 3 weeks, and if that goes through, I've got another appointment set up with her in 2 weeks. But if we can make that deal work, I mean, she's got 100% equity in the house. She likes me, which is important, because I think I can make that happen for her, and I can, I'm stressing that I can help her pull out of the situation and not go down that path of foreclosure, which is, it's tough. It's a tough conversation to have with people, but all from my patio.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that was a big piece that, and you're a little unique. And by the way, I was unique too, because I did go like total disasters when I got in this business. Like I had lost everything I had. I mean, I can understand what it means to like start crashing in real estate. All right, well, let's do this. First of all, Stephen, appreciate it a ton. Again, thank you for your service and all this. So the way I like to finish off is the same way with everybody. There's people listening tonight. There's going to be people listening in the future that are like, well, sounds like a good concept, but why in the heck would I give 50% of my profit away to anybody? So they're like, should I become a partner? What's your feedback to individual like that?
You can give 50% of your profit to somebody who's going to help you through the deal, or you can keep 0 by yourself. Or you can lose a whole lot of money. Like, been there, done it. I've seen it. I've seen it in people making poor choices when they buy a house, when they sell a house. I've been there on the real estate side, and I'm telling you, to have the mentorship. And honestly, Peter, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think you were like a real person. Like when I first started going through this, Peter this and Peter that, I'm like, yeah, Peter this. And then, literally texting me almost every day. And I'm not getting paid to say any of this. Like, this is legit. Like, Peter's texting me, I'm like, wow, all right, cool. This is legit. And really walking me through. And we've talked about deals that haven't gone through, but it's absolutely worth the 50% of the profit margin, because without that mentorship, the software, the team, the support team, literally I emailing at 11 o'clock at night and getting Barry or somebody to answer. It's amazing. So there really is truly value in that. 100%.
Well, that's awesome, Steve. You're a great partner. I mean, that's all I could say. I mean, you're just a great guy. You actually you're a lot younger than me, but you remind me of me. I mean, you really do. You remind me of me.
Cool. Thank you.
Let me tell you, from one of the very biggest perspectives, you got into it and you got kind of clobbered. And usually when people get into anything, I don't care if it's playing bridge, and they get clobbered, that is their number one reason they get out. Because like, I got into something, I didn't kill it in something, so I'm out of something. And I got a special place in my heart for people like me who got into something like this, and it just didn't work out the first time. For me, it didn't work out for way beyond the first time. For me, it took me 3 years just to make 0, literally. And so that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. All right, listen, I appreciate you being here with us tonight. Say hello to the little one and tell them thank you so much for being so patient with us. I'll let you log off, but see, man, you're the best. 5 to 7, right? 5 to 7.
Right. 5 to 7. Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Later. Bye.
I appreciate it. Well, guys, this is it. I mean, you know, what else can I tell you? This is what our partnering program is all about. It's us doing real life deals with real life people across the United States. That's our model. I mean, it's not complicated. It's not sophisticated. It's not some kind of a got you. It's not some kind of like, it's it. I mean, we're looking for people to do deals with. We are a real estate investment company. That is like our you know, front and center thing. But the way we have become a real estate investment company is by partnering with people just like Steven across the United States. For those of you who are ready to do deals, ready for you to partner, ready to take your business to the next level, whether it's from 0 to that first level, or it's whether from the 9th level to the 10th level, we're ready for you. If you're ready to get going, go to www.partnerdriven.com. You'll learn more information there. If you love it the way I think you will, put your information in there. A team member will touch base with you, and off we go. Guys, partner driven, it's how we do deals. It's how we feel like you should do deals too. All right, guys, I'm signing off. Over and out. See you guys next week. Same time, same place.